Hey, it's Paul with MakeUseOf.com, and in today's video, we're checking out a brand new smart lamp. This is the Yeelight Cube, which admittedly on its own doesn't look that exciting, but when attached to its power base and a few other modules, it can create some incredible lighting effects. The Yeelight Cube is a modular lighting system that allows you to create unique lighting effects either by selecting from one of its many presets that come installed on the device or within its app, or by drawing and animating your very own design. And so whether you're trying to make the background of your videos look a little bit more exciting, or you're trying to create the ultimate gaming room, these lights are worth checking out. So let's start by talking about how these lights work. As we showed earlier, it's a cube design. The cube is available in 3 different modules: Spotlight, Panel, and Matrix. And aside from how they look on the front, all 3 of these cubes measure 50mm by 50mm and can be arranged in any order, up to 6 cubes long. The Matrix cube is composed of 25 dots arranged in a grid formation. Next up, we've got the panel, which is identical to the Matrix except that it has a diffuser, which gives its colors and designs a more uniform and blended appearance. On the other hand, Spotlight, as its name suggests, is a spotlight which is designed to emit one single color at a time. It can be adjusted 350 degrees horizontally and 90 degrees vertically, which can help you focus the light in certain spots that you might want. In darker rooms, it can shine its light onto walls or ceilings and create some really cool effects. That said, Spotlight is definitely more limited than the other 2 cubes, as it can only display one single color at a time, and because of this, it often doesn't complement the other lighting effects as well. But one of the really cool things about the Yeelight cubes is that it's completely interchangeable. Setting up the cubes is very plug and play. First, you'll need to link each of the bases to your YeeLight account by scanning the QR code, which is located on the bottom of the base. This will then allow you to control the cubes using the YeeLight app and access all of its features and customization. So powering everything is this base, which has its power cord on the back and then a capacitive touch button on the front, which allows you to turn it on, off, as well as switch your modes. Now each base can support up to 6 cubes connected together. Aside from being compatible with iOS and Android, the Yeelight Cube also includes Matter compatibility. This allows you to easily connect it once and control it via Alexa, Google Assistant, Apple HomeKit, and more. A limitation I did find, however, is that you need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network in order to make changes to the cube within the app. And unlike some other smart lights that once they're connected to your account can be controlled from basically anywhere in the world, the cube doesn't have that option. Once it's connected to the base, as you can see, we can also spin all the lights individually. And that also creates a pretty cool design that you wouldn't really see with many other lighting products. So that kind of flexibility there is definitely one of its strengths. Now, one of the things I would have loved to see is the ability to somehow connect the cubes in different shapes. If you look at the marketing for this, you'll notice that they create a lot of shapes side by side, whether it's like this or this. The thing to keep in mind though is it needs its own power supply for each individual vertical row. Of course, you have the ability to easily put this horizontally and then connect up to 6 cubes, but at the same time, you can't now stack vertically on top of that. Now, I don't know if that's more of a software limitation or a hardware limitation due to its power supply, but that definitely would have unlocked another level of customization that we would have loved to see. Now, in terms of connection, you'll notice that we have this coil on the bottom of our power unit, our main base. Each cube has a bottom and a top. The top looks identical to this, and then the bottom has these 4 pins, and when connected, this is what allows it to have that 360 rotation. For some users, the omission of a built-in battery might be a limitation. This means that you have to rely on it being connected to a power source at all times, which will limit its portability and possibly some of the areas you can set it up. And again, aside from that, the only other thing we have on here is that one capacitive touch button, which allows us to cycle through the different lighting effects. And although we've seen similar approaches with decorative lighting, including the Govee Glide Hexa panels, as well as the Nano Leaf lines, these are one of the few lights that we've tried that actually inspire you to continuously change up your design. Now, when compared to other smart lights that offer customizable designs, those usually have more permanent setups, usually because they need to be mounted on your wall. Now, due to its nature of being cubes that sit on your desk, whether you're showing off products on a desk, it's in the background, or maybe it's the star of the show, you're able to quickly switch up your designs, your order, with zero effort. Now, to control everything with our smartphone, we have the YeeLight Station app. It's pretty good for the most part, although it does have a few limitations, which I'll discuss in just a bit. Within the app, we see our two different modules. We have the YeeLight 2, which is currently on, and then the YeeLight 1, which is currently a little bit disassembled, and the other half is over there. Within the app, we can turn on or off our lights, and we can also quickly switch between our different modes. So although we only have a set amount of modes that we can cycle from with our button, those are actually saved on here and don't require any Wi-Fi, and you can cycle between them. Within our app though, we have all the modes available, as well as anything that we want to customize, we can program into here and see it live. And then so once we actually open up our lighting group, this is where, again, we can see all those other modes. We can change the brightness, turn it on and off again. And then if we have a configuration like this where all the cubes are a matrix, we can also enable clock mode. This is where some of the limitations with the software come into play. As you can see, we can only display our time horizontally, which in my opinion is a bit of a letdown because it would have been cool to have some of those effects go vertically. Now, as far as customization, we do have the ability to change our colors. We can also switch between time or time and date. So below the presets that come within the app, we have a section called Pixel Graffiti, and this is where we can create our very own designs. So if you've created and saved a few designs, that's where you can actually select between them. And then if you click Management, it's not too obvious, but if you click that, this is where you can actually edit your existing designs. So we can actually go under Custom 1, which we were just making, change our dynamic effects, the speed. You can actually toggle quickly between the different cubes. You could select between a bunch of graphics, alphabet letters, numbers, different transitions. It's actually really cool that they give you the ability to customize, but also using preset designs. Now let's say, for example, we want to access these custom designs without the need for our app. Going back to what I was saying earlier, we're able to switch between a lot of our presets using that button there. But what if we want to change up the order as well as which ones are displayed? Under device settings, this is where again we can tell it the order of which our cubes are, as well as telling it where the power supply is located, and then switching up which cubes are being used. So we can tell it's a spotlight at the top for using a spotlight. But when we click on custom button switching, this is where we can add up to 8 presets, including the custom design we just made. So that's going to be our 7th one. And then if we hold on any of the presets, we can actually drag them and change the order too, as well as, of course, removing them completely if we don't want them. And lastly, if you need a little bit of inspiration, they do have a community section, as most apps typically do right now. And that's where you can see some of the other designs that other users have posted. Some of them are pretty cool. So if you're looking for different ways to either implement this into your setup or trying different configurations, it's actually a pretty good idea to check it out every once in a while and see what everyone's up to. So that's been our experience using the Yeelight Cube, a really cool smart lamp solution that offers a lot of customization and surprisingly really easy software to use too. And so whether you're creating captivating lighting effects, adding flair to your videos, or just showing off your prized possessions, the Cube delivers on its promise of enhancing your visual experience. The biggest limitation, again, is if you want to really branch out from just your typical vertical or horizontal setup, you're gonna need more bases, and more bases means more cost. And it can get pretty pricey if you wanna get some crazy looking design. For the time being though, I think a lot of users should probably start with 2 bases and I'd say at least 6 cubes if you wanna get a basic setup going. But beyond that, if the price doesn't scare you, these are definitely very fun and easy to add to any setup, and they're definitely worth checking out. So let us know your thoughts about these in the comments down below. This has been Paul with MakeUseOf.com, and until the next one, we'll catch you later.